This is a presentation of Northeast Streaming Sports.
What's up, everybody? It's another NFC East show, and I'm here. We're doing it live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, Zodiac TV, and the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. I am the Philly Sports Guy, and right now we got Sneaky G. I'm sure True Blue will be on here in just a minute.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Stefan, a.k.a. Sticky G. Red. How you doing, Jamie?
Oh, there he is. There he is. We knew he'd be here. I'm doing good. True Blue shows up in the last second. He's got it. There we go. Now he's. What's up there, True Blue? No, I guess not.
Well, hold on. He still might be in there. Okay. Some technical. You know what? That's the beauty of being live.
Exactly.
That is the beauty of being on a live show.
No, it never stops.
Oh no. So you and I got something in common.
Yeah. It's called losing this week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But in the words of one of my followers, his name is Kurtz, we lost better than you.
Well, did you really though?
Well, I mean, I'm just stating fact, right? It's so bad in this division. We're so bad right now that we actually have to compete on how much of a better loser we are for the weekend. For the weekend per se. And
there he is. True Blue is showed back up again.
Yeah, just a bunch of technical difficulties all the way around.
Like I said,
understand.
the beauty of live TV.
Yeah, man, I had to jump on the iPhone. The laptop's going haywire and everything else. So, what's going on, guys? Glad to see everybody.
Yeah, likewise. Good to see you.
Yeah, it was I want to say that it was a very tough week for me. The ride home was it was what it was.
Yeah.
But it's you can't win them all, and it sucks when you lose that way. But it happens. It happens sometimes.
But I gotta say this though. We did win on Saturday though. We did have a good time at Texas Live. I finally got to meet True Blue. Finally got to meet him. He is alive, people. He is a real breathing person.
Yeah.
And Jamie, sports guy, it's always good to see you. Now all we need to do is, have a Washington guy here, and we can celebrate that as well.
Complete the East. We can complete the East.
Yes.
Well, there's one, my well wishes to the Philadelphia Eagle lineman who got hurt. Saw that it was his foot and he's out for the season.
Yep.
Yeah, hoping he gets better. When we saw the injury, I saw him roll 3 times and I knew it was serious. Yep. A big boy like that doesn't roll around 3 times if it's not serious. And wish him well. Hope he gets better.
It's and it's a shame because he was probably he's like one of the mainstays on that line. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
He's been there all that time, and I'm really critical of him a lot. But of course, you never want to see anybody get hurt.
Nope.
And especially now with the way that our offensive line has just been getting hit up with injuries. It's either going to make or break the team.
Yeah,
That's
that's
kind of
it.
what's going to wind up happening. I mean, obviously, you know, to quote our quarterback, you take your deuce and you flush it, You don't look at it. You don't pay attention. You just flush it and move on.
Did he actually say that?
He
Yes.
did say that. He did
Okay,
say that.
Okay.
I got a little bone to pick with, I guess with your main man there, Eli, decided to show my picture while flipping the double bird. He did that. So
You
there you
gotta
go,
be
Eli,
kidding me.
right back at you. Oh, yeah, it's all over. I got my picture next to Eli giving a double bird.
Oh,
Everybody was
man.
sending me that picture. So,
Wow.
and of course, not only did we make the Dallas Cowboys, but we made NFL Australia
Yep.
down there. They sent that down there, the picture down there, and I tell you, it's funny. Him and I never take a picture together. Like I never do. Like, hey, we got to take a picture. We got to take a selfie or something. We don't ever take a selfie. Everybody's got pictures of us,
Except us.
except us.
Wait, I do. I got a picture of you guys. I got a picture of everybody.
Right. Right, and that's a little bit different, but it was, it was fun. It was fun being at the game. They were great seats, all the way up to kickoff.
Yep.
Because I mean, they went right down the field and scored in 2 minutes. Hey, Renee, I appreciate that you keep putting up all this flyer stuff, but we are on a football podcast. Don't make me block you. Thank you. So, you know what I mean? I come on now. Really? I know you're a 49ers fan. Go to a 49ers podcast then. I'll talk about the Flyers later.
I do got a question to ask you. I know so for the last 2 weeks, one of the issues we have plenty issues as the Giants, are the penalties. And of course, because of the penalties, we say that's lack of discipline. And looking at the box scores, Philly had 13 penalties for 86 yards. What do you say about that? Is that is that towards the coach, towards the players? What do you think?
Pre-snap penalties are always coaching and focus. And so there were a few things that I saw that really, or that I even spoke about to the ESPN crew, not the people that are on TV, but the actual film crew were staying at the same hotel as I was. And I was talking to them about what they see. And they were saying that they see a coach that does not show a lot of passion. And they felt specifically like the moment was too big for him.
Wow.
Now, this is coming from the.
What do you mean? It's a week 3 game, divisional game.
You know what though?
This game alone is too. But what I'm saying is this game is too big for him.
A Dallas Cowboys game.
You got to remember, this crowd size was pretty enormous, and it was pretty loud in there. And I think,
and I will say, I'll go as far to say is that they were the most. I was telling my guys here. I actually shoot darts on Wednesday, so I'm at right now tonight. I'm at the American Legion in Leadham. Post. I'm sorry, Norwood. Post 507. 507, post 507. So, of course, taking care of all us veterans. Me and Sneak, you're definitely a veteran. So, we're giving them some love there. But I was telling the guys here, I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought here for half a second. I was more concerned about naming the post. Um, but that they were the most aggressive that I have seen them, the Dallas fans. I've never heard that chant like that.
No.
The Eagles suck chant. Never. I mean, they were an aggressive fan base, and that energy was felt. The last time I felt a similar energy was in the Link against the Cowboys when we had that energy and we won that game 17-9. That was when because it was the same type of energy, the opposite way. I felt that energy against us.
Yep.
And it was big. It was a big moment for them. And the coach was underwhelming. Underwhelming. In total.
Go ahead, True Blue.
No, and that was the thing. The crowd noise played a big factor in this game. From first down all the way to the fourth down, even when the guys were punting, the crowd was into it. The defense was on top. Everybody was just playing power football. And you can tell the Dallas Cowboys were going to win, wanted to win, and did win. And it was all, it was just a mix of emotions going all the way around. And especially Dak's homecoming from last year. That played a big factor.
Right.
Oh, I can imagine.
Right.
There was so many different things that were going against us. They put Jimmy Johnson and Drew Pearson in the Ring of Honor. I don't even know who the third guy was. And it's funny because
wait, they did that. They did it that night.
Cliff
that
Harris.
night.
They didn't even waste no time. Like first home game.
Bam.
And he got his ring too. I saw that he got his Hall of Fame ring.
Yeah, that's what it was. The ring. It was the Hall of Fame.
The Ring of Honor.
No, it was just the ring, the Hall of Fame ring. It wasn't the Ring of Honor.
Right.
Oh,
that's planned for a later date.
Oh yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Like right after the Hall of Fame, basically 3 weeks.
Yeah,
he gets the Ring of Honor.
Yeah, it was a Hall of Fame ring for the three gentlemen: Cliff Harris, Drew Pearson, and Jimmy Johnson.
So I'm looking at the box scores right now, and I see. Okay, hear me out before we get any kind of feedback. I want to say I see some type of domination. Okay, I watched the game maybe the first quarter. I'll be honest. I went to bed. I was tired. I woke up, saw the final score, took a double take. But now I'm looking at the box scores for the first time. First downs. Dallas had 27. Philly had 12. Rushing, 12 rushes, 64 yards. Philly, 41, 160.
Yeah, you're not looking close enough. You're not even looking close enough there. Those 9 rushes were from the quarterback. They only ran the ball 3 times.
Yeah, they rolled out. He was rolling out too to avoid traffic in the backfield.
Yeah. Oh, well, see, as far as box scores, I'm just seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just stats. And then let's see, Dak, although Dak threw for under 300 yards, he was 21 of 26, 238, 2 TDs. Yeah, Jalen Hurts, 25 of 39, 2-2. Dallas had 4 sacks. Philly has 2 net yards. Philly had 303. Dallas had 220 total yards. Philly had 367, and Dallas had 380. Dallas
was it? I thought it was even close. I thought they had 370. I know as we were leaving, we saw that stat.
Yeah.
And I looked at him. I says, "We gained as many yards as you did." And then he turned to me and goes, "Well, look at the penalties." You know what I mean?
Yep.
So that was the biggest difference.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and not only that wasn't the biggest difference. I mean, obviously that one big turnover, but it really that was the punt that gave us the touchdown in the end zone. That probably should have been an interception, but they marked down as a fumble. So that was definitely Dak.
Correct.
Dak pushed. You know what I mean?
I do see the two. I do see the 2 turnovers to 1.
Yeah, and the other thing too is the part that makes that interesting is Philly Sports Guy was alluding to was when the penalties came. That one was that's what was huge when the penalties came on the 3rd and 4th downs. even on the fourth downs that we had. It was interesting because everything was pretty much matched up, but the Dallas Cowboys were driving down the field and actually executed some points off these drives, and they just and as Philly sports guy was alluding to, he was who was questioning our tight end and who is that guy? Well, he found out who he was. 3 TDs.
Only 2. He only had 2.
Or 2, yeah.
He only had 2 touchdowns, but that was enough. But that was enough. I said it out loud. I said I hate it when I'm right. I hate it when I'm right. When I know that, like, hey, listen, we got to pay attention to somebody who I have no idea who he is, but we're going to have to pay attention to him. And damn it, we had to pay attention to him because he wound up scoring 2 on us. And it bothers me when I'm right, and it bothers me when I coach the team better than the coach.
Well, and I'm going to preach this until I'm blue in the face. I'm a big TOP, time of possession kind of guy. Anytime you get close to 40 minutes, that's going to be the victor. 9 times out of 10, that's going to be the victor. And I'm reading this: 30 minutes, 58 seconds, Dallas. 25 minutes and 2 seconds.
Yeah, 35
Philly.
minutes. 35 minutes to 20. There was a 10-minute difference.
Yeah.
We had 8 offensive plays by the middle of the second quarter.
Yeah.
8. Well, because they got that interception, and then we got the fumble recovery in the end zone. So they had like 2 plays there, and then they ran down the field and did like 13-play drive.
Yep.
So it's like they went down the field and they had that first drive that was only a couple of minutes long, but they had a lot of plays to do it. I think it was like a 12-play or 11-play drive for that. And then we get our calls. We get a couple of plays. We throw the interception down at the 1. They go 3 plays. That was on third down where that fumble happened. So they had 3 plays. We get the touchdown, and then we kick off again. And now they got another 13-play drive. So by the time it's the middle of the second quarter, actually it was like 14-7 in the first quarter. There was only a minute left. We went 3 and out, and then they had the ball again. So, and by the time we got it for the third time, it was already, you guys had already had like 25 plays to our 8.
Yeah, and the other great thing was for the Dallas Cowboys was the turnovers. You got 1 in the end zone by Brown when Jalen threw it, going for the long TD. We got that interception, and then Diggs had the interception for the return for the TD.
Right.
So I mean, those 2 quick turnaround, that was a pretty good jolt to the Cowboys defense.
But then I mean, we had a really big turnover on the goal line.
Yes.
Think about that. It could have been even more. It could have been 48-21. Because we got that turnover right at the end, in the end zone. Where he was going for the ball. We knock it out and they give us the ball, which I was really happy about. You know what I mean? But
see, and then I know everyone, and I finally got a good look at the replay because I finally had my glasses on looking at it, was the goal line stance with Dak Prescott getting over the line on the end zone, which he did after I seen the review. There was no angles. It was just straight overhead shot. The line comparison to where he was, where the football was, he was definitely over, but that's neither here or there.
Yeah.
The officiating in this game was again horrible on both sides of the ball.
Yep.
I mean, the
NFL, at least it was not a close game.
No, it was not a close game.
It was a close game.
Again, the officials were blowing calls on both sides of the ball. It didn't matter. It's you can see it plain as day from the holds to guys getting turned to being taken down. It just doesn't make any sense. Everybody wants to see the teams play football, but when you see the actual penalties occur right in front of the refs, then you got to start questioning what's going on here. And it not just this game.
It made me wonder a little bit, like, is it time for them to get retooled or reschooled again? Like, is that what's going on here? Like, or what is the issue that they could really be having? That officiating, and it's not just in the NFC East. This is NFL wide. This is really becoming a serious problem.
I think the game has gotten so fast
Oh, yes.
I
Agreed.
think the game has gotten so fast that the guys were playing and they're at a point where I'm thinking the refs just can't physically keep up with what they're seeing. And it's not a knock on their age or anything. I'm just saying cold hard facts. You got these young guys running out there full sprint, stuff happening in seconds. And I know we can't see everything on the field, but there's a lot of things they're missing. And the only other thing I can think of is, okay, well then, maybe we need a couple of more judges playing on both sides. One more on the defense, one more on the offense. Just spread another referee behind. I don't know.
And that's not a bad idea. Case in point, the game Sunday night, the Packers against Green Bay. That head-on-head. Packers against 49ers. Thank you, Jamie. That head-on-head play that knocked was it the Packer wide receiver out? It was the Packer. Yeah, they knocked him.
Yeah,
he got
it
knocked
was the
out.
Packers.
And the ref stopped running. Last time I checked, the referee has to keep up with the play. So he can determine what kind of penalty, if a penalty is committed, and he was behind.
Yep.
And our good buddy Dean, right? He was on the shutout, Dean. He said, yeah, the ref was in poor position. So, True Blue, I think you might be on to something. I think something. That might be facts.
Yeah, and it's the thing is because when you're seeing the play happen, and again, the slow motion and all that plays into the judging that goes on, and that's what we don't want. We want it real time. We don't want any replays. We don't want anything going up to the booth. The best thing is I think just throw another judge or another two judges out there, refs, to see what's going on both sides. And if they don't want to do that, then just put one behind the offense. That way he's not in the play of field, adding more to the congestion of the field.
Well, I would agree to add another ref somewhere. But I am 100% for instant replay. It does slow the game down a little bit, but when you have calls that are affecting not only a game but people's livelihoods, you got to get those calls right. And
well, here's something to think about, and put it in perspective. Imagine this: you've got defense playing cover 2, cover 3, right? So you've got a defensive back there. You want a referee, if a wide receiver can get past that first guy who's making his way up there to that free safety. You're expecting that referee to catch up to see exactly what's going on in that play?
They did before. Yeah, they did before. You would see. There's countless of highlights of seeing referees running alongside the players.
But it's not happening anymore. It's these guys are out of position. They're not playing. Where they and it's just, I don't know. I'm not.
So is the answer more referees? I don't know that's the answer.
I'm thinking it is, but I'm also thinking the positions that they're taking up.
Yeah,
I think if a defensive can have cover 3, which these guys are playing cloud and they're back there. Who's to say why can't there be another ref back there? He's not going to be in the play. He's just going to be on the. He's just going to be another side judge in the very back, not on the play of field.
At least deep along the side.
Exactly.
Not
in the field of play.
Yeah, at an angle.
Yeah, not in the field of play, but just able to visually help the other guys come over. They've got the guys who are reviewing the booth helping from New York. Why can't they have another guy on the field?
Right. And since we're talking about bad calls, he was not offsides. So I think we can move on. There was another game this weekend, actually Sunday at noon.
Buffalo?
No, not Buffalo. Well, actually, yes. It's funny you should say that because I was at Buffalo Joe's watching the Giants and Atlanta game. I'm looking at the box scores right now. So we actually had more first downs than they did. 21-18. We actually broke 100 yards out of 27 rushings, 1 touchdown. They had 20 to 69. I'll just give you the total yardage in passing, which Matt Ryan. No, I'll even give you the TDs too. Matt Ryan has 243, 2 touchdowns. Jones had 266.
No
Jones,
touchdowns.
0 touch and 0 picks,
Yeah, that's a
and
big one.
0 fumbles. What else we got? We sacked Matt 3. They sacked us twice. Total yards, we had 346. They had 296.
And you had 8 penalties for 53 yards. Probably some of the killer there too.
And this is a fun fact. We had 7 of those in the first half.
Wow.
7 in the first. And again, remember, I'm a big component of the top. The TLP. Yeah, you know me. We had 31 minutes. We almost had the ball for 32 minutes. They had it for 28 minutes and some change. To me, that does also tell that it was a close game. If it was, but for me, my takeaway, which my apologies, I should have asked that before of the Dallas game before we got to this one, was I don't understand the play calling, too conservative. I don't understand the defensive calling. Wide receivers were wide open. And the final thing I want to say this is every time Ingram got on the field, he was booed.
Wow.
Every time Ingram got off the field, he was cheered. So he knows he's in a predicament. Now, also for the booing and the cheering, during Eli's ceremony, Roger Mara was booed.
Wow.
It was so
And
bad.
he's been loved in that
Yes,
city. So
yes, it was so deafening and so bad that Eli had to stand up and basically calm the crowd
Shush him down. Wow.
Before the ceremony could even get started.
people are upset.
Wow.
People are upset. So
yeah, that's New York. That's the New York crowd. It's a tough crowd.
I hear the same type of thing because as I think about it, like what's going to happen when we're home against Kansas City and Andy Reid is here this week. And I don't mean to cut you off, Sneaky, about talking about your game
No, not at all.
but we have a coach who looked underwhelming against a really big division rival in a very big game moment and was very underwhelming. Hasn't been really exciting to see and watch and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Has done a few things that have been very funny, just in general. You know what I mean? The Dallas shirt. Now the Dallas shirt is going to be backwards. Now it's going to be used against us because beat Dallas, and it says now it's going to be beat by Dallas. You know what I mean? So, and what happens now? Now you got our old coach who took us to 5 NFC championships. You can't take that away.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then has won a Super Bowl since then. Been to another one since then. How is that? Like, how is that going to really look coming in? And then we got a quarterback who I feel was a little lost out there,
right?
On Monday night. I don't think that it was. I don't think that he was lost because he didn't know what to do. I think he was lost because of the play calling. And now, as I think about that, and now I correlate that to the Giants. What's going on over there? Because obviously, and you could speak to this a little bit too, True Blue, because their offensive coordinator used to be your coach. You know what I mean? And the only thing that he's really good at is clapping.
Well, in his defense, I have yet to see that on TV. I think he's full aware of that, and that's changed. Now, I do want
to clapping.
Yeah, I haven't seen him. I haven't seen it this year. I do want to take a step back and talk about your quarterback, Hurts, real quick. Your quarterback. You're right. From the first play, I saw him rolling to his right, rolling to his left. And then when I did see the highlights, you're right. He did look a little lost when, in a sense, he should have been prepared because this is his second time in Dallas. He should have known what to expect. Now, granted, last year he did not have a very outstanding performance, if you will, last year either. But now about our team, because you were talking about the play calling, very conservative. I don't know. I understand now why Jerry Jones took the play calling away from Garrett. I understand why.
Yep.
That's
exactly it.
You could tell the different Daniel Jones that's out there. When there were certain plays when Jones was on the field against Washington, you can see him making audibles. You can see him commanding the offense. But against Atlanta, I saw 8 in the box. He did not audible out of a run. And the only reason why he did not audible out of a run is because Garrett had to have taken that responsibility away from him.
Wow.
Or at most, and I could be speculating here, or at most taking that option away from Daniel Jones to change a play. And granted, I only saw 1 or 2 times because I was like, please don't let this be a run. Yeah, it was a pitch right. It was a sweep right to Saquon. There's 8 in the box. That means you have man coverage outside. So, you could do a fade. You don't want to do a slant because they're all jumbled up in the middle of the field. But he pitched it to Saquon. So that tells me a lot.
It will again, Garrett. It's one of those things. That's just how he is. Now, as far as him taking away the ability for Jones to audible, I don't think that's happening.
You can see it though. Now, wait. True Blue. You play football, right?
Yeah.
What position did you play? What position?
I was a defensive back.
So you were a linebacker, right?
No, defensive back.
Okay, so I'm sorry, defensive back. So either corner or safety, free safety. Okay. So now, correct me if I'm wrong. If you have 8 I'm talking like linebackers.
Correct.
You got the down lineman, and you hear that audible call. You know for a fact that was a run play before they got to the line. Am I right?
Yeah.
So if you're on the line, under center, which the majority of the game he was shotgun, but the few plays, and I don't mean to cut you off, but I have to challenge you on this because that's the only assumption I can give. And you're right, I could be wrong. But if I'm under center and I'm like, oh, this ain't gonna work. I'm looking.
Yeah.
It's stacked.
Yeah, and see the reason I say that has to be coming from the head coach himself, not the offensive coordinator. If a quarterback's not going to be allowed to do his job, and he can't sit there and override the offensive coordinator and get to a point where he's saying, "Hey, you know what, coach? If I can't do this, why am I back here?"
But also now the coordinator should be giving the nod to the head coach.
Correct.
And be like, hey, coach, Jones can make the calls. I got a small audible package that we can give Jones. So when they line up, because people look at the first thing people think of our offense is Saquon.
Of course.
That's a given. And so I know for a fact they know that people are going to key on the run. Because if you stop the run, make Jones beat us, we have a winnable game.
Yeah.
But if we try to do vice versa, we're going to be in the hole. Because next thing you know, Saquon's going to run for 75 yards and a touchdown. So,
yeah, and that's something you might want to look into and see what the media is going to be saying this week about that, because I'm sure you're not the only one raising that question.
And I'm surprised nobody has saying that. I don't recall. And again, I could be wrong. I could be wrong.
Yeah, just go to the New York Media Post. I'm sure somebody down there is pretty much saying what you're saying if they're noticing that. Because again, it has to be coming from the head coach, and like I said last week, it's got to come from the top down. And head coach is, I think fourth or fifth game, you might be looking at a head coach change.
No, I don't. I think if any change is going to be made, it's going to be the offensive coordinator. If any change is going to be made on this team, definitely going to be the GM. Definitely going to be the offensive. I think Graham played his way to next year as a defense coordinator from the way we played last year, which I still don't understand where our defense is from last year. However, Garrett, because remember last year we had that issue with that line coach, and that line coach was your guy, which was Garrett's guy.
Yep.
And in theory, they didn't go to blows. In theory, I would have loved to have been there. By the way,
and you got a lot of football left. You've got 14 games left.
Yeah. Oh, by far. Yep.
You got a lot of football left, and that's for everybody. Now, I will say this. Your team right now is 0-3. That's why I'm saying give it week 5, week 6, and they're still not producing. You're right. Heads will be rolling. It starts at the top.
Yeah. Yep.
It might.
Yeah,
and
I agree with that
a little bit. They might take out, like you're talking about, get rid of the offensive coordinator or defense, whatever. But at the end of the season, depending on the record, but there's still a lot of football left. Yeah, because we got you.
I don't see Gettleman. I mean, yeah, they got to do a really big turnaround because they're playing for his job right now.
Yep.
I mean, and they're not playing at all is the problem.
Well,
that's the problem.
Yeah. I mean, we spent a whole lot of. I mean, what was it? $200 million in re-signing free agents and picking up free agents, and this is the result that we're at right now.
Yep. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And again, but one of the biggest outtakes that I have from the Dallas Cowboys and the Eagles was we had five players out from our starting defense. So that's what I'm excited about coming off of this game, is to see those guys come back off, not DeMarcus Lawrence, but I've got, several guys on the COVID list. And then I've got, I had Randy Gregory, who just got back. So I have Neville Gallimore, who's coming back off that elbow injury off preseason. So they're saying he's going to be good to roll, but next week is going to be a good test.
Yeah.
Yeah, but my question becomes, like, when they go back in there, that they should have really short leashes, because why change what's working? Again,
exactly.
when it ain't broke, why fix it? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And now you're going to have guys that are supposedly, that were part of the team last year, and part of the reason why that they were letting up all the yardage. Now they're going to come back, and all of a sudden this is a better defense. I don't think so.
Yeah.
It could be the fact that the people that they have behind them are actually stepping up to the plate and doing better in comparison to who they are, the bigger name.
Well, it's mostly going to be coming off the defensive line. So, there's going to be a lot of interactions there between switching players. But, I mean, that's where our biggest necessity is at our defensive line. Our linebackers are doing what they're supposed to do. Jalen Smith, I mean, he put a lot of pressure on Hurts this weekend. And I got to give it up to number 7 Diggs. I mean, he was just on his own little island out there and playing defense and just shutting down the wide receivers. And it wasn't – and Jalen Hurts was making some really good throws. But he was just – I mean, he was right on – I'm talking about the completions he did make. The completions he did make. Where,
right.
The gap was shortened. But Diggs, for everything you saw, he was just shutting down every wide receiver. There was nothing going against him.
But it wasn't like he was playing one-on-one. They played zone the entire game.
Correct.
The entire game they played zone. So it was just like whoever happened to be closest to him, he happened to go and cover. And the play that he intercepted the ball and ran it back for a touchdown. I had thought that the legs got crossed up, and that's why he got tripped up there. He didn't get tripped up; he tripped on the turf, and Diggs just happened to be there. So that ball should have never been thrown to him in the first place.
Yeah,
he wasn't open. He wasn't open.
Yeah, you walked on that turf. You walked on that turf to feel it. How it had a little spring in it. I don't know if you took the field, but during your tour there, but yeah, you get on that field. It's something else. It's got a little spring to it.
Well, I can imagine.
I do want to give some Facebook love. One of my guys said Gettleman won't make it past week 6. If we're 0-6, I mean, I don't know if you guys are aware of this. We're 15-35 since Gettleman has taken over.
Yeah.
So there's that. There is that.
Ultimately, where does it come from? Like, where do you draw that line? Where does that line get drawn in the sand where we start to say, okay, like I know the Eagles themselves, they've always been good at picking coaches, and thinking outside of the box to pick coaches. Now, this one, not doing what he's supposed to be doing. You know what I mean? And I don't care what you say, Sneaky. I know that it came up from the top about losing that game to Washington. A coach doesn't try to lose a game. It had to come from the top. So, and you could say whatever you want. I know that he also brought a Super Bowl here. So you could say whatever.
Yeah, and the year prior to that, you guys won a division, and then the year next, I can say what I want, and you know what I'm going to say. He lost the team, and that's why management had to made the move.
I don't think he lost the team. I think that up top is meddling. Similar to Dallas, where they like to meddle, so he likes to meddle too. The truth of the matter is that he was at least a football guy. Jones was a football guy, so he's got at least an idea on how it's supposed to go.
Yeah, but when you have Jalen Hurts on the bench saying this ain't right, I mean, that tells you right there. I know we all have our own interpretation, but my frustration is obviously not with the Eagles itself, but with someone, who wants to win, who complains about losing, but then lose when it's convenience. So
yeah, but you can't say that. You can't say that it came from him. You can't say that it came from him.
For the record, I didn't bring this up, but I'm gonna draw the line in the sand for me, and I'm gonna say that I truly believe that he lost on, and then the two coaches meet in the middle of the field, and one says thanks, like it was a Christmas gift. So I mean, you got to give me more evidence, and then maybe I'll believe it. But until then, I have my facts, and that's what they are. They're facts, and I'm going to stick to them.
See, the problem is I'm not privy to the conversations on between the coach and the and the owner.
You'd say I am, and this is what the owner said. You know how I feel about this team. You know how I feel about not losing. That I was waiting for you to say, I wish you would. I was waiting.
I wish you would.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing.
You know how I feel about the country? The flag in the country.
Yeah.
Do you think Bradley Cooper's getting a little step in over there in the head coach's ear?
No, it's not. It's not Bradley Cooper. It's who's the little short comedian?
Kevin Hart.
Kevin Hart.
Yeah.
He's talking to them. He's yelling up to them. He's talking to them.
I'm going to say it, and I'm going to be brave. That little man tried to get on the stage of the Super Bowl. I got to give him props, though. I know I just called him a little man, but I got to give him props for making I got some big huevos. This dude got some huevos.
Yep.
Telling a big, nah, bro, I'm getting on that stage.
Yep.
He's like, who I am? You know who I am? He goes, yes, we know who you are.
We won the Super Bowl. No, Kevin. No, you did not, Kevin. You did not win the Super Bowl, Kevin.
Yeah. Well, it's going to be interesting here come week 3. I don't know. We've got the Carolina Panthers. It's a noon game. So it's throwing off everything for us because that's the first early game we've got.
I got it.
And that's in Carolina, or is that home?
That's at home. We've got 3 straight home games. This is number 2.
Oh,
Yep.
I didn't realize you guys played games at noon at home.
Yeah, it's pretty rare, but we've got this game at noon and then the following game at 3:25.
Right,
So-
which is kind of what I figure you normally play, 3 o'clock or 3:25 games.
Yeah. So it's going to be a good test this weekend, and it's going to be fun against the Panthers.
I don't mean to throw this curveball, but one of my folks asked the question. He said, "Sneaky, do you believe the Giants will try and draft Archie? We have that's way too much time to even think about another Manning being at the helm." Yeah, he hasn't even played college football yet. But I mean, you never know. I will say this: you'll never know. You never know.
Well, I mean, I know that there has already been discussion about how the Eagles are going to use these 3 picks in the first round, which right now, if the season ended right this moment, would be the 3rd, the 7th, and the 10th pick in the draft.
Wow. 3 top 10s.
Well, and that's not even the Eagles being in the first pick. That's the Colts.
Wow.
The Colts.
Right.
Colts pick is the first pick of the draft.
So you're really hoping Wentz don't get injured again, right? Like,
well, no, see, yeah, no, actually, I'm thinking the other way. I'm hoping that the coach doesn't start to lose control.
Okay.
Frank Reich in the process of that, because it's not going to be Wentz. They're not losing games because of Wentz. Well, they might be. You know what I mean? But they're not. His numbers aren't ridiculous. He might be holding the ball a little bit too long, but he's making throws. He's doing some of those things, and they're just getting beat. And that makes me think it's a coaching problem over there.
Yeah, I can see that. I can see that very. It's going to be a competitive race to see who gets that top pick.
And
I thought it was going to be Jacksonville or the Jets, but I mean, it looks like there's a number of people out there trying to go for it.
Shit, we might be in the running the way we're playing now.
That's what I say. Right now. You are the number 2.
Who's number 1?
Number 3 is the Colts. I think who's number 1 is
Jags.
Chicago. No, Jags won a game, didn't they?
No.
Oh.
Yeah, the Jags, Jets, us, and that's right off the top of the dome. I think
Colts would be the number 3 pick right now.
Yeah,
Colts haven't won a game either.
0-3 teams.
Oh, the Colts have not won.
No.
Well, I mean, Wentz right now, he doesn't have bad numbers. I mean, he has like average, 60% completion, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception, just under 700 yards passing. I mean, he's not having like, I'm going to write to mama and tell him about him numbers, but
So, all right. So we play the Chiefs coming off of 2 losses against fairly good opponents. I mean, I guess one was San Diego. So I'm hoping that
LA.
That's what I said. Exactly. The Chargers. And you know what? I do have to say for our Charger buddy that said that he was going to sweep the NFC East. You already lost that bet.
Yeah.
So you already lost that bet. But anyways, I don't know. I don't see because we have this and then I leave for Carolina next week. I am going to be in Carolina to do this show. So it's going to be an interesting week to see how we get past the Chiefs.
That's
how
Thursday.
We're going to prepare. No, we go. I'm going for the week though, but I'm going. It's a Sunday game, but I'm going on Monday night. I'm going to go down there.
There you go.
I have a friend down there. I haven't seen in a long time, so I'm going to go spend some time down there.
I think what's going for you against the Chiefs is that quietly they have the 31st and 30th ranked defense in points and in yards in the NFL right now.
Yep.
And that their last 3 games, they average about 30 points a game. So I mean, I want to say this. They're not the 2019 Chiefs.
No,
They're not. They
no.
are not.
You're
So
not even the 2020 Chiefs.
no. And the thing about, and I'm going to go to the book here. The thing about your Eagles, you guys are ranked 25th in offense regarding points and 16th overall in yards. So you might want to bookmark this, Jamie. I'm telling you, there's a chance.
You're saying there's a chance.
That's all I'm saying. That is all I'm saying.
I can appreciate that. So I hear. Listen, before we get into our last predictions, I'm going to give the floor to Sneaky G for a minute.
Oh, yes.
I'm
Yes.
going
Thank
to
you.
allow him to do his thing here because he's got some stuff about to happen. So I'm going to give Sneaky G the floor.
I'm going to make it real quick, guys. Next week, October 7th through the 11th, if you are in the DFW area, do I have something for you? Now, October 7th and 8th, if you look up top, TH1 Barbershop. He only does online appointments. Go to TH1Barbershop.com to make an appointment for a haircut if you need a last minute fade for next week's game. October 8th at at Sullivan's Barbecue in Old Town Louisville from 4 to 8. I have a rib eating contest. If you think you got a big appetite and you want to compete, please send me a message on any of my platforms. Matter of fact, hit me up on Instagram. Let me know if you want to be a part of the rib eating contest. I can't make any promise. I'll see what I can do. Now, the moneymaker, the Super Bowl. This is the Copper Penny Lounge in the Music City Mall. Myself, True Blue, James Jeffcoat, Byron, Clario G. I'm going to have a couple other, I'm trying to finish up some Giants, another Giants podcaster that's going to be sitting with me, although I can handle all of them at the same time. That sounded bad, but you know what I mean. We're going to have a live podcast at the Copper Penny in the in the Music City Mall in Louisville. And if you want another flyer, you could read this. And if you're in the Louisville area, you could go to these 3 locations and let them know that Sneaky G sent you, and you get a discount.
So anybody, I know that flyer had a lot of words on it, and it was maybe hard to see. Anybody at all who's looking to get involved with any of the things that are going on there, please contact myself or Sneaky G, and I can get you the flyer just as easily as he can. For everybody who's watching the show tonight, it's definitely, and like I said, especially when you get Jim Jeffcoat and Byron Williams on there, they have their own show, J&B Talking Shop, here on the Northeast Streaming Sports Network. It's definitely something that you want to go check out. It happens on Wednesday nights right before our show. So definitely you can check in at 7 o'clock at night. They have a great show. They're always getting football guys on there. Obviously, when you played in the league, it's easier to get the guys to show up. But definitely want to go check them out at the Copper Penny down in Texas in a couple of weeks. So predictions for next week. Let's start with the team in first place at the moment. True Blue and the Dallas Cowboys.
All right. This game is going to be a fun game. It's going to be a tighter game than, it's going to be like the Tampa Bay Bucks, but I do believe we will prevail. McCaffrey's out with that hamstring injury. There's not going to be, there's still going to be some backfield motion out there, but I think the Cowboys are going to get this one. I'm going to say, 27 to, I'd say 24. It's going to be that close.
Okay. I also think that you guys are going to pull that one out. I think I like Carolina. I love their coach.
Yep.
He used to coach Temple and then went to Baylor and did his thing there. So he really did he's done a great job turning that franchise around. So I think that you know that they're going to give you a game, and it's going to be
Yep,
close.
it
But
is.
that it's possible that I think you guys will be the ones pulling it out.
Yeah, crowd noise is going to come into play in this one, I believe.
I don't think so. I don't think not like it did on
Not
Monday night.
not like Jalen Hurts, but it's going to come into play just a little bit.
So because it's also going to be a day game.
Yep.
So which means that he may keep everything closed, which would bring some more loudness.
Yep, that's it.
But,
yeah.
I think it's going to be a different story, and not because I hate the Dallas Cowboys, but I love you, True Blue. Remember that I love you.
Oh yeah.
Carolina's defense is off the chain right now. They are number 1 in points, and they're also number 1 in yardage. So it's going to be a game, but also the offense is ranked top 10 in yardage. However, they're rated 16 when it comes to points. I think that this might be the game that Sam Darnold needs to prove himself. Their last 3 wins, I mean, a close win against, what was it? Was it against you guys? The Philly? Didn't they had a close game against?
No.
Was it the Jets?
They didn't play the Jets.
Yeah, the Jets was the first game.
Yeah, they spanked the Jets, and they played Thursday night against Houston.
Oh, I'm sorry. It was New Orleans. It was a
New
close
Orleans.
game.
There you go.
No, it wasn't a close game. It was It was a close game against the Jets. That's what it was.
Yeah.
I think this might be Sam Darnold's coming out party. I mean, he's gonna have to beat the Cowboys to tell the league I have arrived.
Yep.
And I think this might be one of those games.
I do also want to mention the Cowboys have the most turnovers so far. The defense 8 turnovers.
Okay.
So
okay.
So it's going to be an interesting game.
Yeah, very much so, and I'll be there.
So just because I happen to be, we're tied for second. Really, in essence, we'd be in third place because Washington has won a divisional game. I would go next, and we're going to be playing Kansas City. And I need to see one, a more balanced attack on the offense. I need to see them run the ball. I need to see them keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands, which means that they got to get off the field on third down. They got to be more focused and not take those pre-snap penalties. And they have to make sure to run the football. Run the football. I don't care if you go for 2 yards or 3 yards. Run the football.
Yep.
You need to be able to do that. I have this right now. I have the Chiefs 31, the Eagles 21.
Well, I tell you what, I'm going to go on a limb here and say they're not going to run the football. With
I don't know if that's going on a limb.
Yeah, well, yeah, right. That's what I mean. But this is going to be an NCAA scoring type game. It's going to be like 61-64 Chiefs because the way the defense is playing with the Chiefs, it's going to be a high scoring game. And with your guys' offense, you guys you're a little pissed off that you lost to Dallas. So I think it's going to be a high scoring game. I wouldn't be shocked otherwise, but I'm going to go with the high scoring game.
Yeah, if the Eagles can keep Cheetah, Tyreek Hill in check and Kelsey, you might be able to do something. But I'm going to give this one to the Chiefs, 34-17.
Yeah, similar.
Realistically, I'll say 38-34. Realistically, I'll say that.
Okay. And then we have the
Washington.
Giants, and who do they play? Well, Washington.
Oh, yeah.
Obviously, Washington's playing somebody, and they're going to lose.
That's it.
We need to get a Washington guy on here. When we get a Washington guy, we start talking about Washington. Until then, they lost worse than the Eagles did.
Yeah.
Yeah,
they lost way more than I'm going to say we're going to We're going to win by, it's going to be 26-20 Giants.
Who do you guys play?
New Orleans in New Orleans.
Oh, yeah. No. You guys will be 0-4. You guys will be 0-4. And I have that wow, I have that like 35-10. Saints.
35-10?
Saints.
Okay.
I have the Saints taking this one 31, maybe 31 to 17.
Yeah, I think that's going to start the clamoring for his head.
Yeah, I
For
do
the
as well.
heads. So I think it's going to be a beatdown, and I think you're going to see your guys quit, and it's going to go against what he said at the last game. You'll never see my team do that ever, 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 ever. I'm never going to do that. Blah 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 blah. Rawr, rawr. Guess what? His team's going to quit on him, and you're going to see it happen next week after they get.
I don't think they're going to quit on him.
Well, we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see, but I don't think they'll quit.
In the meantime, everybody, thank you very much for joining us for another NFC East show. Next week, I will be in Carolina to do my show, so we will see you there. And as
Let's
always,
go Giants. Oh, I was waiting. I thought we were doing our thing right now.
go Birds!
How about the Cowboys?
Yeah.